Hey everyone, it's your Ice Prince, John Creighton Peterson, and today I'm here to share with you a quick and simple technique for creating faux dichro. Making faux dichroic glass out of resin and some basic stamping inks is so quick and easy. You're going to be hooked on this and using this in a whole bunch of projects. Your basic supply is tissue paper, and this is just plain white tissue paper. Then you want to use StazOn inks, and I like to add a little bit of metallic on there as well, which I'll show you in a moment. So this is totally simple. I'm just going to take my first color, and I like to do a couple of different colors. And this is the Emerald City, and I'm just putting this directly onto the tissue paper, just like so. And then I'm going to flip over my paper and I'm going to put on some blue Hawaii. So this is going to give me a couple of different colors. If you haven't worked with tissue paper with your resin before, what's cool about this is that the tissue paper is actually going to go transparent once it's in the resin. Now if you wanted to seal this with a paper sealer, it would have a different effect. But because I wanted to have this really cool translucent effect, I'm just going to let the resin react with it and turn the tissue paper clear. That's what gives the dichro effect. So there is my paper. And now I'm just going to crinkle this up. I'm going to open it back out. Now be a little bit careful, because if you have a really juicy ink pad, it can soak through a little bit. So now I'm going to take azure blue in the StazOn, and I'm just kind of going over the top on the rough edges. Oops, let's get stuck to the ink pad there. And then I'm going to take my re-inker, and this is the metallic silver, and I'm just putting this onto one of the sponge daubers. This is actually the ink sweeper, so there's some silver on there. And I'm just going to slightly go over the top of this. I'm just trying to hit the tops of the mountains, or my peaks and the creases. That's okay if you get a little extra. It's just going to give a little bit more of a metallic effect. So you can see that on there. And now I'm just going to heat set this real quick with my heat gun to make sure it's completely dry. Now that my tissue paper has been dried with my heat gun, I'm going to add a little bit of the Creative Medium and Iridescent. What this is going to do, this is going to really give it that dichroic kind of look. And I'm just adding this on with my finger, because you don't need a lot on here. And I'm just going to kind of put this kind of here and there. And what's cool about this iridescent paste is that when it dries, it's going to give that dimensional two-tone kind of look. So that's a little bit of the blue, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the green as well. You can add as little or as much as you would like on here. Sorry, trying to concentrate, not getting my fingers stuck on here. Now, as you might have heard, I had a little tear when I was doing this, and that's okay because I made plenty extra. But check out that really cool iridescent effect that's on here right now. So now that we have our paper created, this can now be put into a back of a bezel, or you can use it for a variety of other projects as well. So if you're going to be putting your faux dichro paper into a bezel, what I like to do is I like to whitewash the bottom of my bezel first, and I just use StazOn cotton white in the bottom because it's just going to keep the paper from looking transparent. I already have my resin mixed up, and I'm just going to put a thin coat of resin right down here in the bottom. And then I'm going to place my paper right down to the bottom carefully. There we go, and I'm just going to push that down. And because the tissue paper is so thin, the resin's going to act like an adhesive as well when it's going down here. So now I've just moved that around, and now I'm going to continue filling my bezel, and at this point I can add in all my fun inclusions like German glass and glitter. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and as always, you can see more great tutorials and basics about using ice resin on the ICE Resin blog, or you can always check out some of my own projects at artnewwave.com.